everyone. I'm currently trying to cheat death, and it seems apparent that I'm not very good at this, so I figured I could watch every Final Destination movie to find clues. Because from what I remember with these films, cheating death always works out perfectly for everyone. Right? I love these movies so much. Some could call them guilty pleasures, but it goes beyond that. They're just so unapologetically stupid and goofy, and sometimes you're just in the mood to watch dumbass idiots get killed in the most convoluted, over-the-top, ridiculous ways possible. It's dumb schlock, and I'm here to eat it all up. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with
Final Destination, rated R.
this is the one that started it all. Final Destination, starring Devon Sawa, best known, of course, for playing Hunter Dunbar in my favorite movie of all time, The Fanatic.
I can't talk too long. I gotta poo.
Alright, so what's this movie about? Well, I'm guessing you already know. These movies are all the same. Someone has a premonition of a tragedy that kills a bunch of people, so along with a couple friends, they cheat death, but soon after, death comes back to get them one by one. These disaster premonitions are a hallmark of this franchise, of course, and this first movie has one of the most relatable ones, I would say. Good old plane crash. Well, technically not a plane crash, more of a plane explosion. And watching this in 2025 with everything going on with planes, feels eerily relatable. But anyway, after his vision, Devon Sawa gets out of the plane, few classmates follow him, and everyone else blows the f up. So obviously people are freaked out about Devon Sawa. How could he have possibly known about this? But don't worry, he's not a witch.
Why do you think I'm some sort of...
He's not a witch.
Oh, thank God. It's a perfectly fine opening, although having watched all of these movies back to back, this feels surprisingly tame. Those later sequels have crazy-ass opening scenes, massive set pieces, blood and guts everywhere, bunch of crazy special effects, even 3D at one point, that's fun. And then you go back to this, where two people get sucked out, and then a little CGI plane blows up in the background. It's not so much about the spectacle, and more about setting the plot in motion. In fact, the whole movie feels very tame compared to the sequels. It's bare bones. We're not in full-on schlock territory yet. On the contrary, Final Destination takes itself very seriously, and it's much more story-driven than I remembered. We still get the death scenes, of course, but they're stripped down, they're quick and simple. The film is more focused on the characters trying to solve the mystery behind death and how it all works.
In death, there are no accidents.
Also, there's this subplot with these FBI agents trying to figure out if Devon Sawa has something to do with all these deaths.
I'm Agent Ween. This is Agent Shrek.
Shrek?
Again, it's okay, it's just not as rewatchable for me. They spend the whole movie figuring out that death is killing the survivors one by one in the order they should have died, but I know all that, I just want to see people die. And speaking of which, let's do just that. Starting with the first ever Final Destination death scene. This guy takes a quick shit and then feels compelled to shave, despite not having a single facial hair. Why not? But the toilet's leaking, so he slips and falls on a clothesline that strangles him to death. And that's it. Simple, decent, maybe a little forgettable. Like, the typical Final Destination staples are here, but it's the first death scene and they're still finding their footing. It's a little lame, okay, but it does the job for now. And after that happens, Devon Sawa and his love interest Clear. They figure something supernatural is going on, and they want answers, so they break into the funeral home to find the guy's corpse. Let's see, where could he be? Oh, look at that, there he is. And this is when Tony Todd shows up to do what he does best, say cryptic, ominous shit, and then disappear from the movie forever.
I'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Now back to the death scenes. And this one is by far the simplest, but also probably the funniest. A lady gets hit by a bus. That's it. As simple as that. They took the simple and effective approach. Let's see it one more time. But this next one is the complete opposite. In fact, this is the closest we get to a classic Final Destination death scene, meaning it's extremely convoluted and ridiculous and stupid, and I love it. So there's this teacher here getting freaked out by a mug. I hate when that happens. So after the traumatic mug incident,
Stop this, it's a stupid mug.
she could use a little vodka.
2 shots of vodka.
But the mug cracks and a tiny bit of vodka spills on the computer monitor, which starts smoking, and then it blows up in her face, which is what always happens when you spill a drop of vodka on your computer. She gets stabbed in the neck by a flying shard of glass, and then there's a fire and it reaches the vodka bottle that instantly explodes. As it would in real life. So the half-dead teacher reaches for the rag. Whoops, it pulls down a knife block set and one of the knives falls down and stabs her. Well, I'm guessing she's dead now, but just to be sure. There are now only 4 survivors left: Devon Sawa, Clear, Stifler from American Pie, and this guy from My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Who I share a bed with and have sex with.
Sex.
And My Bloody Valentine guy is supposed to be the next one to die, according to Death's plan, but we get a classic bait and switch. He's about to be hit by a train, but at the very last second, he gets out in time, so Death kills Stifler instead. Another very simple death, but it's fun, it's good. Okay, time for the big climax, where Clear is being chased by an electrical wire, and I'm not making a joke, that's literally what happens in the climax of Final Destination 1. And then Devon Sawa starts fighting the wire with a shovel. Yes, there's a fight scene between a human and an electric cable. It could have been a fun, silly scene, but they take themselves so seriously.
I'll always be with you.
So it just ends up being kind of a terrible, stupid climax. But anyway, they defeat the wire, their greatest enemy. Everyone's safe. We're all happy.
Yeah.
Fun fact, in the original ending, Devon Sawa actually died. That fucker got fried.
I loved you.
And for some reason, Clear is pregnant. I guess they had a quick while their friends were dying horribly. But in the real ending, we cut to 6 months later. Our remaining survivors are safe and everything's fine. That's it, the end. And that's Final Destination, a perfectly fun little horror movie from the early 2000s. Great premise, fun kills, pretty good acting, but it doesn't quite satisfy what I'm looking for in one of those movies. It doesn't quite scratch that itch. These things work best as stupid, gory schlockfests, whereas this one takes itself very seriously, and it's more about solving the mystery of death rather than just having fun with the death scenes. I would give Final Destination 3 vodka bottles out of 5. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it has nothing on its sequel. Oh baby, that's when things get really good.
Final Destination.
It's not over yet.
Rated R. Starts Friday.
This is the good stuff.
Oh, yes!
You take the formula of the original, cut out all the fat, focus on what people want, and there you go, you got a crowd pleaser. Is it high art? Is it winning an Oscar anytime soon? Nope. But does somebody slip on his leftover spaghetti and get stabbed in the eye by a fire escape ladder? Yeah. But before we get there, let's very briefly, set up the plot real quick. Our main character for this one is Kimberly, and she's on a little road trip with her friends for spring break. That sounds fun. They cross paths with the usual people you see on the highway. You know, people showing their tits.
Look at those titties!
Smoking weed, drinking and driving, sniffing coke, the usual. Don't get too attached to this group of friends though, because for once, the survivors of this movie are all strangers. Yes, the friends all die horribly. Which brings me, of course, to talk about the classic opening disaster scene of Final Destination 2, possibly the most memorable scene of this whole franchise, the goddamn logging truck scene. You might have seen the meme about how this traumatized an entire generation, which I'm a part of. I will never not mention Final Destination 2 when I see a logging truck. It's stuck with me forever. And this is once again something anyone can relate to and be scared of. A big fucking deadly accident on the highway. That can literally happen to anyone. And here's how it goes. Of course, there's a logging truck and the chains break, the logs fall down, and then there's crazy chaos. One of the logs goes right through a car, just annihilates this poor guy. Jesus Christ. Then this guy gets crushed by his bike. This lady's car flips over. This car blows up. This car blows up. This car blows up. All of the cars are blowing up. That's a lot of explosion. Ah, screw it. Let's have a truck blow up as well. This guy's burning to death.
I loved you.
And look at that, his car blows up. Didn't expect that. God, I mean, what a fantastic scene. Right from the start, you can tell the production value is much higher. And this being a 2003 movie, you'd think it would look like absolute dog shit, but no, somehow the whole thing looks flawless. The mix of practical and CGI, it all blends perfectly. It's tense, it's violent, there's crazy stunts. Yeah, this alone is worth the price of admission. But as always, it was just a premonition, didn't happen for real. So this time, Kimberly doesn't get on the highway, and therefore she prevents all these guys from entering as well, so everyone's safe. Well, except for her friends. Okay, can you guess where the story's going next?
Then all the survivors start to die one by one.
That's right. And I love how they don't waste a second here. You've seen the first film, you know what's going on. Everybody immediately figures it out. They cheated death, and now death is coming to get them one by one.
But if I was never meant to pull over, we all should have died in that pilot.
Which means death could be coming for us.
Okay, that's all the plot we need. Let's watch people die now. Starting with this guy who throws out his leftover spaghetti through the window. Why not just throw it in the trash? I don't know. Okay, whatever. Cue the rock music, baby! This is an early 2000s movie after all. Okay, so the guy's hand gets trapped in the garbage disposal, frozen chicken tenders are burning in the skillet, and now everything's on fire and the apartment explodes. But thankfully, the guy got out just in time. That was a close one, huh? Just be careful not to slip on your spaghetti. Whoop!
Oops.
Safe to say at this point, they know exactly what people want with these films. Crazy, stupid, convoluted death scenes. And what a great way to start things off. Goddamn spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Okay, time for a little bit of plot stuff. We learned that Devon Sawa unceremoniously died in between the two films from a freak accident involving a brick. I don't know, Death just got lazy, I guess. But we also learned that Clear is still alive, so turns out you can cheat Death, but only if the screenwriter says so.
But you beat it.
And you want to know why? Because I wrote it.
Clear committed herself in a psychiatric ward, and Kimberly pays her a visit, seeking answers. Clear tells her, don't come any closer.
Don't come any closer.
Then immediately gets closer to her. Smart. We get a quick exposition dump.
If you put them on the list, they're already dead.
List what list?
Death's list.
What?
And she decides to tag along with them. Okay, whatever, on to the next death scene. This time in the scariest place of all, the dentist. Already a fucking nightmare, but then pigeons start crashing into the window. Water's leaking from the aquarium. Look at that little bitch crying. Then a little plastic toy falls in his mouth, and the oxygen tank isn't working. It's so stupid. No matter, he gets saved just in time. That was a close one, huh? Just be careful with the giant glass pane.
Oops.
Well, we're about halfway done, which means it's time for Tony Todd to show up, rip this nipple piercing right off, and say cryptic, ominous stuff as always.
Only new life can defeat death.
Alright, thanks for showing up, Tony Todd. Let's get to the next death scene, which takes place in an elevator. What?
Fucking weird, man.
So this woman's hair gets stuck in a prosthetic arm hook, and then the elevator doors close on her head, and as it goes up, she gets decapitated. One of the simpler deaths of this movie, but also one of my favorites. I'm a man of simple taste. I love a good decapitation. After that, the remaining survivors get in a car crash, and this woman nearly gets a PVC pipe through her goddamn head, but thankfully everyone survives. Now they simply have to get her out of there. But uh-oh, looks like someone forgot to watch the Airbags Today and Tomorrow Travel Safety VHS tape.
There are great forces involved in the deployment of an airbag.
Look, Mom.
But it's not over because, yes, it's a 2-for-1. Now, everybody knows about don't drink and drive, but how about don't smoke and die? Yeah, damn. You know what? I think this one's my favorite. And there are a lot of great death scenes in this movie, but the barbed wired fence is just, it's so oddly satisfying. I could watch this all day, but there's no time because we immediately get another death scene. That's why I love these movies. Why bother with the plot? Who needs plot? Conflict? Characters? What even are those? No, let's just up the body count, goddammit. Okay, so this guy who was in the car crash earlier, he's now in the hospital, and obviously death is coming to get him. They set up a bunch of possible ways for him to die, so you'd think they're going for another crazy spaghetti death scene, but what I didn't expect was for this to be another 2-for-1. That's right, baby. Right as Clear enters the room to make sure the guy's fine, they both get blown the f*** up. Yes, fan favorite character Clear Rivers explodes! So many explosions in this movie. It's sad to see her go, but hey, it's better than a freak accident involving a brick, I can tell you that much. Okay, we're just about done. What's this girl's name again? Kimberly? Anyway, she realizes that in order to defeat death, she has to drown and then be revived, so that technically she died, but not really. So she does that, and now she's safe. Oh, and her cop friend is safe too, for some reason.
We did it.
Even though he didn't die. So like one person needs to die to break the chain? Did I miss something? Doesn't matter, just don't think about it. They did it, they're safe, and it's a happy ending. Everyone's enjoying a good old backyard barbecue party.
Barbecue season should sizzle, not spark. Stay safe, stay smart, and enjoy the grill.
I love Final Destination 2. They took the clever concept of the first one and just made everything better. Sure, the plot is not great. The writing isn't great. I don't remember the name of a single character. Yeah, anything story related is basically empty calories, but thankfully they seem very aware of that. They did the bare minimum story-wise so that they can focus on the crazy death scenes. They're just having fun with it, and I had fun watching it. I think most would agree that Final Destination 2 is one of the better entries in this franchise, and I'm gonna give it 4 leftover spaghettis out of 5. Alright, now what do I do with this?
Final Destination 3.
Meet you at the end.
Rated R.
Final Destination 3. This one seems to be a bit divisive. Some people think it's one of the best, some think it's one of the worst.
Fucking boring.
So hot take alert, yeah, the third one's my favorite.
You're wrong! You're wrong!
I mean, what's not to like? Solid kills, decent humor, surprisingly competent writing, really good acting, entertaining the whole way through. And also, I'm pretty sure I watched this one the most as a kid, so there might be a little bit of nostalgia in there as well. Anyway, at this point, you know the drill. You can't have a Final Destination movie without a crazy opening disaster, and this one plays on yet another very relatable fear, those damn roller coasters. I'm afraid of heights, so no thank you, don't ever want to go near one.
Pussy.
But these guys do, including our main characters, Kevin and Wendy, who is such a control freak, y'all.
You know, I'm such a control freak, like,
Hey, did you know she's a control freak?
I'm usually such a control freak.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to see that things haven't made you any less of a control freak.
Okay, I got it. She's taking pictures for the yearbook, which will come back later. And as always, there are many ominous omens, like this sign that says die instead of dive, and this balloon popping. Ah! Quick note, Tony Todd never shows up physically in this movie, which is a bummer, but he does have a little voiceover cameo as the devil, which is nice.
You may never return from devil's light.
As you see, we got the lovely devil going on with the balls hanging and stuff. You see how big the devil's balls is? The balls.
Okay, time to hop on the roller coaster. All right.
All right.
Hold on tight. Let's hope everything goes well.
And it didn't go well.
Don't worry though, as always, this was just a premonition, so they didn't really die. They actually got off just in time after Wendy warned them. Well, except for these guys. These guys are dead. And as usual, since they cheated death, death is coming after every survivor. Yes, all these movies are the same. No, I don't care, because watching people die in horrifying, absurd ways will never not be fun. And speaking of which, let's get to our first death scene. And this one's really fun because not only is it another crazy death scene, but for once, we also get gratuitous nudity. Awooga!
Flash me them sweet, sweet titties.
Alright, let's get to the tanning salon. And here's how it plays out. These two stupid idiots are getting a good tan while listening to Love Roller Coaster. Do you get it? And then a bunch of convoluted shit happens. Slushy drips on this thing here, and the tanning beds start heating up. Then a bunch of stuff falls over, which ends up trapping the ladies inside. And yeah, they get cooked alive. Come on, it's such a great kill. What a way to start things off. This is probably one of the most memorable death scenes of the franchise, excluding the opening premonitions. Everyone's seen the tanning death scene, right? It's so memorable. Simply put, it's fun. It's a fun one. And I absolutely love this little editing joke. Ah, chef's kiss. I love it. All right, I'm gonna take these off now. Meanwhile, Wendy's sad. She's grieving. And you know what? Mary Elizabeth Winstead is a really good actress, and her character feels guilty over her boyfriend's death. There's a touching little bonding moment with her sister.
You're all I have left.
This is the closest we ever got, and probably ever will get, to caring about a main character in these films. I mean, the bar is low, but it's decent writing paired with really good acting. It really is just as simple as that. You hear that, Final Destination 4? Did you hear me?
I'm gonna go get laid.
Something else I like. So Wendy is seeing signs of how people are gonna die, just like in the previous movies, except this time, instead of imagining pigeons or something, the signs actually come from the pictures Wendy took at the beginning. Remember those? And I just think that's a clever way to do things, rather than simply having visions. The screenwriter is trying. Did you hear that, Final Destination 4, you dumb, stupid fucking piece of shit? There's some more exposition about death. Oh, okay, didn't expect that. It's the scariest jump scare of the franchise. And then on to the next death, which is a quick and simple one. A truck hits a car and its engine flies out and chops this guy's head. That's it. It's fine. Really good practical effects as always. Lots of blood, which is nice. Quick note, I do like how for once in these movies, they actually acknowledge how horrifying these deaths are. Like, it's not just that somebody died, but also how disturbing and f***ed up it was.
It's not only horrible, but can you feel how vicious it was?
And we also spend time with our characters simply grieving.
I was gonna ask her to marry me.
In the other films, they never really talk about their friends' and lovers' horrible deaths after they happened. Like, it just never comes up again. I thought it was a nice little touch. Look at that. Conflict, drama, emotions. That's nice. But enough talking about our feelings. That's for little pussies. It's time to pump iron!
It's as satisfying to me as coming is. So I'm coming day and night.
We're at the gym, and Kevin and Wendy try to warn this guy, Lewis, about his impending death. And Lewis tells them, I know you guys are going through a lot. You lost people. It's a difficult time for you. But you're in denial and you're seeing signs and patterns because you can't cope with what happened, which is what a rational human being would say.
Seeing signs and patterns, man. I don't blame you. But it's wrong, dog.
Sure, he's kind of an asshole, but you can relate to how he feels. Again, it's not much, but it's something. Anyway, his head gets crushed. Then some more crying, and sure, you could call those scenes boring. There is a lot of Mary Elizabeth Winstead crying from a single eye, but it's just nice to see vulnerable characters for once, and like a genuine friendship. But I'm gonna shut up about that now. You're all here for the death scenes, so let's get to the death scenes. Hey, not pigeon deaths. Come on, don't do that. This next one involves a bunch of shit, like chain and glue bottles and washer fluid, forklift moving on its own, power saw. Oop, be careful there. Wooden stakes and wooden panels. Where is this going? What are we doing here? Oh, it's the nail gun. Pretty traumatizing stuff, but her boyfriend seems to be taking it pretty well. Here's a fun little twist. The next people to die are these guys, but Wendy can't figure out who they are until we get to the climax, where she conveniently knows who they are. Turns out this bracelet here belongs to her sister, and therefore her sister is the next one to die. So to the fair we go for the big climax, and the shit show begins with fireworks that scare this horse. Oh, poor guy. So it runs off. And Wendy's sister gets caught up in this and nearly chokes to death. Oh wait, the horse stopped. I think we're good. Oh god. Well, things aren't looking very well for her, but thankfully she's saved at the very last second, so she's all good. But her friend, though, she's not good. She's dead. All right, let's check back on Kevin, see how he's doing. Jesus Christ. We're not done yet, though. This pigeon-killing motherfucker also shows up just in time to get crushed. Yes, I love it. This is great. Look at him twitching over there. Now, originally the movie ended right there, but test screening audiences didn't like that. They thought it was boring. So f it. Let's kill everybody. Yeah, everyone's dead. Wait a minute, this lady just blinked. I don't think dead people can do that. But this was Final Destination 3, and like I said, surprisingly really good. I don't get why some people dislike it that much. The kills were all really solid, fun setups and payoffs, great practical effects. They're mostly all memorable, but not only that, I also think the writing is as good as it can possibly get with a Final Destination movie. I found myself caring for our main characters.
We don't even like each other. Hoping you're okay.
Why? We don't even like each other.
And it's not a bullshit romance subplot. In fact, they both had a significant other that died horribly. They're just friends who care about each other. Simple as that. They're vulnerable, they're tired, you know, they feel like real people. I thought the clues from the pictures was a fun, clever idea. The opening and closing disasters were both fucking awesome, and the movie is even a little funny at times.
I didn't say anything. I mean, I think they were trying to scare us into saying something, but they had nothing to keep me there. All right, what'd you tell them?
Everything?
What more do you want? I had a blast with this. It's obviously not a great movie, but judging it for its entertainment value, I'm gonna give it 5 gratuitous tit shots out of 5. Fight me. Actually, don't do that.
The Final Destination, rated R. Take the trip in 3D, 2D, and select theaters. Starts this Friday.
Hey, you! Get out of the water! It looks like the pool drain is sucking your insides out of your anus! Well, anyway, time to watch Final Destination 4. Oh, I mean, The Final Destination, which is definitely 100% the last movie in this franchise. Now, here's a fun fact. This guy here from Final Destination 1 went on to play this cop character in My Bloody Valentine 3D, which is obviously a 3D movie that came out in 2009, and Final Destination 4 also came out in 2009 and is also a 3D movie. I don't know, I think there's a connection there somewhere.
What the hell does that mean?
Still have the glasses that came with the My Bloody Valentine 3D Blu-ray, and on the back it says Saw 6. in theaters soon, which I think is really funny. Here's an idea. Let's put ads on 3D glasses. 2009 was the year for shitty 3D movies. Man, it's crazy. My Bloody Valentine, Final Destination, Saw, and my favorite, of course, Jonas Brothers, the 3D concert experience. A classic. Hey, speaking of complete shit, let's get to the movie, which, as always, begins with a premonition of a huge disaster. And once again, it's a very relatable, scary situation we've all experienced. Going to a car race. Wait, that's not a thing people are afraid of? Yeah, there's a big pileup, and it's... Oh, it's bad. It's clear they wanted to have cars flying everywhere and killing people in 3D because they thought it would look cool, which it doesn't, but like... Who cares about a car race? I've been on a plane. I've been on a highway. I've been on a roller coaster once, and I don't ever want to do it again. I've been on a bridge. I've never been to a car race. And even for those who have, it's still probably something you don't do very often. I feel like they missed the point of those opening disasters. Sure, the special effects are a big part of them, but it's not the whole point. Anyway, right as the movie starts, something's off. It's like a lazy parody of what Final Destination is. A bunch of stock, good-looking people who can't act for shit.
I have my cowboy right here. Get a room, guys.
Cliche stereotypes everywhere, like the racist one, the douchebag, the nice guy, the asshole. There's barely even any build-up to the accident. No tension. It just happens. And even the deaths are such a huge letdown. They're terrible. Just a big, sloppy CGI mess. What the f***, man? It's such a shame, especially seeing how for every other movie up to this point, they worked so hard on delivering great kills using practical effects. You know, there was a certain craft, there was talent and creativity involved. Say what you will about the writing, but they truly gave it their all when it comes to people dying horribly. This? Yeah, this is just lazy. Not even entertaining, just complete shit. Just look how terrible this looks. What are we even doing here?
Nick, is there something wrong?
Yes, this whole movie. Something's wrong and it's this whole movie. Okay, the premonition's over. Our main character now knows something awful is about to happen. And just for comparison, this is how our main characters reacted after their premonitions in the other movies.
This fucking plane's gonna explode!
Why won't you listen to me? No, don't push the button! Don't push the button! Let me out! Let me out!
Now here's how Nick reacts.
That's the car that's gonna crash. We have to get out of here.
That's the car that's gonna crash. We have to get out of here. Are you kidding me? Aren't you at the very least just even a little tiny bit freaked out about this? Anyway, a couple people get out just in time to cheat death. Well, except for this dumb bitch. Wow, that looks great. I knew this movie sucked. I knew it was the worst one, but it had been a while since I had seen it, and I was shocked at just how terrible it is. Like, unbelievably bad. Yeah, damn. I guess we should address the first big issue here. Look, I'm not expecting great actors in these movies, but there's bad and there's unacceptably bad.
Hey, Space Cadet, you want to come back down to Earth?
Really some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a major motion picture, and not in a funny bad way like The Room or something, more in a frustrating, like, how are you so bad at your job kind of way.
Are you kidding?
Especially our main lead, who has the charisma of a gray wall. He's like watching paint dry. He's so bad. He's so bad.
I was pretty freaked out about that back there.
Yeah, you sure look freaked out. And what's more, everyone's an asshole in this movie. Sometimes you'll get like one prick you really want to see get killed, and these guys will usually add a little bit of levity to the movie, you know, make the scene entertaining and funny.
Okay, I'm sorry, do you come with subtitles?
But here, everyone is just unbearable. I wanted to punch them in the throat repeatedly, and that's just not what you want in a Final Destination movie. This guy's an asshole. This guy's an asshole. This lady's being a bitch.
How long have you been cutting hair?
This guy's an asshole.
Nobody lives forever.
Yeah, none of this is fun or clever. Anyway, back to the movie. Nick is sleeping, and this happens. What? The fuck?
What's wrong?
I just had a really bad nightmare.
Yeah, you sure sound frightened. Turns out Nick has visions of how deaths are gonna happen, which of course is a recurring thing in this franchise, except in the other movies it's a subtle little thing, like pictures, or seeing pigeons in the window, someone's name in a magazine. But for this one, they thought, why not make it look like the worst thing anyone has ever seen in their entire life? Well, mission accomplished, you did it. This brings us to our first kill of the movie. This racist dumbass here. He gets caught by the hook of his truck, and then he's dragged down the street. The gas is leaking and the sparks set off a fire, and then he blows up. Unfortunately, the one and only time they use practical effects, it looks like complete garbage. Carly Betts' paper mache head looks more realistic than this thing. Well, that racist guy is dead now.
Now that racist guy is dead.
So back to actors doing a great job at acting.
You remember that redneck from the racetrack? He's dead.
What?
Yeah. After that, there's another vision. It doesn't look good. And with another vision comes another death scene, this time at the hair salon. Sharp scissors, broken chair, hairspray moving on its own, ceiling fan in a pretty rough shape. Ooh. Is any of that gonna have anything to do with her death? No. A rock flies through her f***ing eyeball. Time for a little bit of exposition about death, and as always, the acting, just superb.
Well, we survived. So now does that mean we all die?
It's the exact same scene we've seen 3 times already, except in this one, there's no sense of urgency whatsoever, there's no tension, and it's shot in this flat, ugly, boring way, as if I'm watching a sitcom. It's, yeah, there's a word I'm gonna use often talking about this movie. It's lazy. Oh god, no, not another one of these. Come on, please stop. This is so much worse than I remember. So the lore in this one is, if they save someone from death, it'll break the chain and everyone will be safe. So death is coming after them because they cheated death, and the way to defeat death is by cheating it. Okay, got it. The next kill sucks. I don't like it. This mechanic here is about to get crushed by a car, but the car stops just in time, so you think he's safe. But then he's hit by a flying gas tank, and he not only does he hit a fence, but he goes through it, which makes no sense, and it looks like shit. What kind of physics is that? Shut up, no time to think about that. There's not even a second to waste, because they immediately move on to the next kill at the pool. And hey, look! Tits!
Dude, look at those titties!
Alright, I'll give the movie this. They actually do something pretty interesting here by setting up 2 possible deaths that are water related based on another shitty looking vision, and you don't know which one of the 2 is the one who's gonna die. Now, I hate this fucking movie, but it's a decent idea. There's good tension building, and it leads to the one and only actual great kill of the movie. So the pool pump is on steroids apparently, and it's strong enough not only to drag the guy down and trap him underwater, but also disembowel him. I doubt that's how it would happen in real life, but solid kill. Really, really good kill. And that's the last you'll ever hear me say anything positive about this turd. Our 2 main characters then wonder how their friend can be so calm about everything that's happening.
I don't understand how George can be so calm about things.
While sounding like the most bored people on planet Earth.
When we're done in here, we need to make sure to safe-proof the bedroom next.
Hey, let's tape the knives so we don't accidentally slit our wrists and drown in a pool of our own blood. What do you think? After that, this character here does exactly what I felt like doing after watching this movie, but turns out they can't kill themselves because it's not their time yet. So in the meantime, I don't know, how about a 3D champagne cork? Whoa, careful there.
You only live once, right?
Shut the fuck up. Alright, I'm sure you're thinking, well, those visions can't possibly get uglier than before, right? I mean, well, somehow they do. Look at that snake. Hey, it looks decent for a 1993 movie. Oh, wait. And this, of course, leads to another death scene. But before that, it's just... something's missing. I don't know. Can we get another racist character in this movie, please? I feel like that would add a lot to this film.
You know how many of your kind I killed in Korea?
Hey, thanks. This one also sucks because, obviously, usually the deaths are caused by a series of convoluted setups, but this one is very disappointingly straightforward. A bathtub overflows, and it falls through the floor and crushes this guy. There's really nothing special about it. Same thing for the next death, the guy who tried to hang himself. He gets hit by a bus like in the first movie, but it's just not the same as the first film. Remember that scene in the first movie? That was great. This one's just lame. I don't care for it. So let's just move on and bear with me. We're almost done here. We just need these 2 idiots to die. And this next death is weird to me. I kind of feel like it should have been the opening of the movie. It takes place in a movie theater, and basically for the 100th time in this franchise, say it with me, a fire breaks out and causes a big explosion. So everyone in the theater gruesomely dies, the mall blows up, it's chaotic, it's fun. Sure, it all looks like absolute dog shit, but I think it's way more fun than a car race. That's just my opinion. It's a fun setting, but at this point, I'm so ready for this movie to be over that I just don't care. Too little too late, final death. Destination for the Final Fuck. I personally feel like they should have swapped those two scenes, have the car race only kill one person, and have the theater disaster be the main event. But hey, what do I know? After that, oh no, Nick's girlfriend, whose name I forgot, also dies. Everyone's dying. Oh my god. Psych. It's another premonition for some reason. Cool. Right as I was starting to have fun. Can't have that in our movie now, can we? Yeah, in the end, Nick saved the day. Everything's fine. But since this movie is horribly lazy, they just copy the ending from the third movie. Might as well. Except this one turns into a Mortal Kombat game. Didn't expect that. And that's it. We're done. This was bad. I don't even know where to start here because nothing works. Like I said, the acting is criminally bad.
Now that racist guy is dead.
You should go straight to jail for being such terrible actors.
Hey, Space Cadet, you want to come back down to Earth?
And you know what they say, when every single actor in your movie sucks, it's probably the director. This man does not know how to direct actors, clearly.
Okay, don't laugh.
What else? Yeah, the opening disaster looked terrible. There was no effort put into it. They just did it all in post. And even for 2009, the CGI is f***ing awful. The characters suck. They're extremely unlikable. The story is just the same thing we've seen before. They don't try to do anything new or clever. And as for the main attraction, the death scenes, it's almost impressive how they managed to make them all so forgettable and boring. The pool scene is the only somewhat memorable one, and that's really it. Like, how can you mess this up? It's so simple. I'm gonna give The Final Destination 1 pair of 3D glasses out of 5. Hold up, I just realized this is the only movie in the franchise that doesn't feature Tony Todd at all. Not even a little voice cameo. Yeah, let's bring it down to a 0. F this movie.
Final Destination in IMAX 3D, rated R, starts Friday.
Well, the last one was The Final Destination, but it made too much money, so fuck it, let's do another one. You know what though? I'm glad they did. I'm glad this hot pile of shit wasn't the last thing we got, because Final Destination 5 is surprisingly good. And by good, I mean it succeeds at being exactly what it should be, which is a very entertaining, stupid schlockfest. And yeah, we're not done with these, because yeah, they thought it'd be a good idea to make it 3D again.
3D.
It worked so well last time, and the film opens with the scariest thing of all, a guy getting dumped.
It's not working out, Sam.
Yeah, it's now time for one last crazy premonition scene. In this one, a bridge collapses, which is fun, and this one is where they went full-on Roland Emmerich disaster porn. Put this shit in 2012 and it would fit right in. Oh, and of course, don't forget about the 3D! Oh no, Velma lost her glasses.
Hey, my glasses! I can't see without them. They should be around here somewhere.
Ah, yes, that's how myopia works. Then a car falls on her face. Everyone's dying. Woo! Tom Cruise's doppelganger gets stabbed by a bunch of metal rods, and it looks like absolute garbage.
What's wrong with your face?
I can fly.
Splat. Squish. I'm having a blast. This whole thing is very entertaining, and it's one of the very few times a CGI heavy scene in a Final Destination movie doesn't look like crap. Well, except for Tom Cruise here. Christ, what happened? It's actually very impressive. It looks great. But you know the drill. It's just a premonition. So our main character, Sam, gets everybody out. They cheat death, and then they die one by one. Okay, so after the bridge incident, we spend some time with Sam and his ex who dumped him in the beginning. Remember that? There's a little will they, won't they thing going on. Little romantic subplot. And I could not care less. Let's see somebody die. No problem. Here's a gymnast breaking every bone in her body. I don't know if this is realistically what would happen to the human body, but damn is it ever so satisfying. Jesus. Okay, one more time. Yes! We're back to the classic Final Destination vibe we all know and love. A convoluted series of events, the tension building up, little twists. Yes, bitch, we're so back. Okay, after that, more character stuff. People are sad, they're hanging out, drinking. Who gives a shit? Let's get to the next death scene already. And this one's also really good. They're all great in this film. So this pervert here...
Yum, yum, dim sum.
...goes to the spa asking for a massage. And the surprising thing with this one is that the build-up to the death is the show stealer here. The death is fine, but everything building up to it is genuinely hilarious.
Hold up there a second. These are solid, just making sure. Tend to be a bit noisy, if you know what I mean.
It must be the playroom. There's so many interesting toys.
Ooh.
The whole scene is extremely entertaining. I was laughing my ass off. But anyway, the massage includes acupuncture, aka shoving tiny little blades that do nothing inside your body. But then, oh snap, everything goes wrong. A towel catches on fire, and the table breaks, and the guy falls down. He gets all messed up, and to top it all off, f***ing Buddha falls on his face. I love it. I can't wait to see what's next. God damn it. We're back to the romance melodrama.
I'm better when you're with me.
Listen, props to them for trying to make a scare and trying to add character drama, but it's just, I just don't care. They got nothing on these two from Final Destination 3.
You're wrong!
These guys just bore me to tears.
Start over with me.
How many drinks have you had?
No.
Oh, thank God, Tony Todd is here to save the day. As always, he shows up to... Come on, say it with me. He shows up to be vague, ominous, and creepy. That's it, you got it, you crazy bastards.
And then you take their spot in the realm of the living.
Basically, the new rules this time around is if they kill someone, they claim their life, and they can therefore cheat death once more.
We kill someone, we get their life.
I think they absorbed their remaining lifespan or something. That makes no sense. Don't think about it. Okay, that's enough plot. Let's get back to people dying. In this next one, Velma's finally gonna stop dropping her stupid glasses.
My glasses! I lost them! I can't see without my glasses.
Because she's getting LASIK surgery. And man, I'm really squeamish when it comes to anything eye related. My eyes are very sensitive. I'm a little bitch, okay?
Pussy.
So this is literally my worst nightmare. Just the eye drops freak me the f out. Oh, Jesus. But anyway, she gets the Clockwork Orange treatment. Then she knocks the controller over, which activates the eye laser, but like it turned into a super laser. Oh God, I hate this. But believe it or not, that's not how she dies. Nope, she just falls down the building. Classic little bait and switch. It's pretty good. Now, in between the death scenes, there's also this subplot with a cop who's suspicious of the main character. Essentially the exact same thing from the first movie, and it's just not interesting whatsoever. And when he's not around, it's these two talking about how they love each other, but they shouldn't be together. Yeah, these scenes are admittedly not the most exciting, but thankfully I think they're aware of that. A couple lines of very dull dialogue, and okay, that's it. Back to the crazy death scenes. Except this next one comes with a little twist. The guy who's supposed to die actually manages to avoid this giant metal hook, and his colleague is the one who gets killed by it. And with these new made-up rules, that means he's safe now, because death is willing to trade a life for a life, I think. Did I get this right? Whatever, who's next? There you go. We're nearly done here, and the climax is actually pretty cool, and also very stupid, but it's cool. So, since the survivors can save their lives by killing somebody else, Tom Cruise shows up, and he threatens to kill the girlfriend character, whose name I forgot.
Why is it that you deserve to live, Molly?
Yeah, he couldn't bring himself to kill an innocent random person because they didn't deserve to die, so he chose to kill an innocent person instead. That's much better. Stupidity aside, it's cool to see them doing something different here. For once, there's a human antagonist, which is fun. There's a tense little chase scene. There's even a fight scene. Ouch! Ow! Ow! This is all surprisingly good and clever for a Final Destination movie. And in the end, the main character stabs Tom Cruise and rescues his girlfriend, and therefore he's safe. He cheated death. His girlfriend doesn't want to dump him now. She loves him now. Everything's fine. And in the denouement, they're on their way to Paris to start a new life together. But here's a great fucking twist. You didn't see any iPhones or any recent computers or recent technology in this film. And that's because it takes place in motherfucking 2000 and the flight they're on is Flight 180. Yes, it was a prequel this whole time. I genuinely love this twist. I just think it's really fun. The kind of fan service that's clever and earned. They set this thing up since the beginning. It's a great ending, plus we get to see a better version of the plane explosion, this time with silly gore and people burning to death, so that's fun. Okay, one last gratuitous 3D shot, and that's it, we're out of here. I feel like Final Destination 5 is the quintessential Final Destination movie. Not necessarily the best, not the most original, but it perfectly captures everything this franchise is all about. It's got some of the best kills of the franchise, an epic opening scene, probably the single best ending out of all of these films, humor that works. Oh, they're just having fun with it, and it's a great time. The only thing that wasn't fun was the failed attempt at character development. I simply didn't connect with these two, and I feel like it conflicted with the very silly tone of the film. But otherwise, I got everything I wanted from this movie, and I'm gonna give it 4 Buddha statues out of 5. This is a great conclusion to the franchise, until they decided to make another one. I am really curious about it, although the title worries me a lot. Bloodlines. That's the title they slap on every sequel of a franchise that used to be popular, and it's always terrible. I mean, goddamn. Hopefully this time it's gonna work.
Good luck.
Anyway, those were the Final Destination movies. We're done, and I had a great time. Except when I watched that piece of hot garbage.
What?
Fourth movie aside, this franchise is surprisingly consistent in quality. Like, every movie's fun, they're all competently made, they're all entertaining, to the point where I don't even know where I would rank them. 2, 3, and 5 especially are endlessly rewatchable. So invite your friends over, grab a couple drinks and snacks, and you got yourself a perfect evening. Well, that's about it. Until next time, keep watching horror movies. It's good for your health. Now, what was I doing again before I started watching all these films? Something about cheating death or something?